Morning, guys. Can you see me? It's Karen Langston from Parents & Co. I'm talking all about bath time this morning. Bath time with two, which can sometimes be a challenge for some of us. So I'm actually, my kind of like scene today is of a baby kind of laying on a bathroom floor. So you may not be able to see me as much, might be a positive, but you'll hear my voice. So I'm just going to talk you through kind of my tips and suggestions when it comes to managing bathing too, particularly when you've got a new little one and a busy toddler. So I hope you can still hear me. I am still here. I'm just kind of pulling back a little bit out of view, just so you can see. Try to position my camera just so you can see the things I've got on the mat, so I can chat to you about them. So bath time with two. So I'm, initially kind of talking about a baby and a toddler. I think for many parents, the experience, of how they're going to manage two children can feel really daunting. Having to manage some of the practical aspects of baby care and toddler can feel twice as hard, particularly in the early days, until you've become accustomed with dealing with two. I remember those times very much, Believe me, though, in another 6 months' time, you'll wonder why you worried. And, that's so true. The first month or so of trying to juggle, particularly bath time, will feel quite daunting, but, you gain confidence, you build confidence very quickly. So I always find planning in advance can make things as easy as possible for you. And, I found as a mum to two that this was quite an anxious time to kind of managing bath time with two. So, my questions I quite often thought in my mind was, God, how am I going to stop my toddler running around kind of naked and wet, kind of like while trying to watch the baby and control the baby as well? And, how was it going to work? There wasn't much room in the bathroom. How will we all fit in? And what happens when one wants to come out of the water? They were questions that I kind of asked myself of how I would manage. And these things will happen at some stage, particularly when you're trying to manage two. But I always say, be kind to yourself. Remember, practice makes perfect. And that is so true. The more we practice these skills, the easier it will become. So, here's some of my tips that I want to offer you to help you set up for success when kind of managing two at bath time. One thing I kind of often say is, the first few times is actually having someone else around can really help. Can daddy come home from work a bit earlier? I know sometimes that's not so easy. Maybe grandma might be on hand, or even a friend. At the moment, because we're in lockdown, I'm sure many of you have got daddy at home or your partner. So, that will give you confidence, having somebody else there while you're trying to manage, the first few times of bath time together. Also, don't be afraid to talk to your toddler or your older sibling about some, clear boundaries about, what they can and can't do kind of in the bath. You want to keep them both really safe. So, the more you can prepare your older one, the easier it will be. So explain to them if they misbehave, that they will, bath time won't be as fun and they'll have to get out. So, it's little things like that you kind of want to kind of share with your older one. But also giving your toddler lots of praise, because again, they'll be kind of really trying to fight for your attention. Although they'll be probably quite excited at the thought of having their new baby sibling in the water with them, they'll also kind of, want their bath time to probably be as fun as it was before that baby came along. So, remember about giving them lots of praise. That's really important. And the biggest thing that I say is prepare well before bath. So, as you can see here, you need to take everything into the bathroom with you before you kind of like start bath time. So my suggestion is for baby is you have maybe a bath, you know, your play mat on the floor, or it can be a changing mat on the floor, so that, you know, you can lay baby down. And then you also, another good idea I always think is having their bouncy chair or a little chair in the bathroom if you've got room, so that, you know, again, once baby's dressed out of the bath, you can pop baby in the bouncy chair, just for somewhere to put them safely. Obviously making sure that you've got your baby and your toddler's night clothes already in the bathroom as well. Nappies, don't forget nappies, take nappies in with you. Any creams that you're going to put on kind of baby and your toddler afterwards. If baby has a dummy, I would say it's a really good idea to take that into the bathroom with you as well, because, you know, as soon as you get baby out of the bath, you know, they're going to want to feed, they're tired, they want to kind of snuggle up with you. So, you know, it's if they will take a dummy, then that might just hold them off just, you know, 10 minutes while you get your toddler out of the bath and get them changed as well. And a flannel, if you've got things, you know, having things in the bathroom as well, ready for bath time. But obviously your towel. And a nice thing I always think is to make sure that the towel is nice and warm. A little tip I often suggest, particularly when in the colder months, is popping it in the tumble dryer. So it really kind of warms up nice and toasty, because you want things like your towel really close to hand, so that, you know, you're not kind of like having to wander off and reach out for it. It needs to be there ready so that you can just grab it and get your little ones out of the bath. So, you know, being really well prepared is really key to kind of success for kind of managing bath time with two. So I always say that you know, when you're going to do bath time, you take them both upstairs with you to get everything ready. While you're running the bath, you have baby on the floor like I have now. So baby can be on the floor on their changing mat. And your first child, I always say, is to involve your toddler or your older child in kind of like, you know, getting bath time ready. If they really don't want to be involved with helping you kind of like, you know, run the water, then they can just be playing close by to you, even on the landing with a little basket of toys, just so you can see what they're up to. And obviously make sure stair gates are always closed. I suggest putting toddler in the bath first, so they can have a little kind of splash around. And it's a nice time, I think, by putting toddler in the bath first, it's a nice time to let your baby, your little one, kind of have free nappy time and a little kick on the mat. So, you know, take nappy off, let them have a little kick around for a few minutes while your toddler or your older sibling is having some time in the bath before baby gets in there. Now, again, with babies, there are so many, you know, baby seats on the market that you can put in the bath. You know, there's the Angel Care one. I mean, there's loads of different kind of seats. So, you know, go with one that works for you. I mean, I suppose I'm a bit old school, but I remember with mine, you know, particularly with my baby, they loved the feeling of kind of like being in the water. So I actually found, and again, it's not so easy if you're bathing them both together, but I actually found, actually you might just pop baby in this arm so you can see better, is actually cradling baby in the crook of my arm, you know, and having them nice and secure under that arm, so always kind of having a grip of them, and actually lowering them into the water and just letting them kind of like sloosh around in the water, let them feel the water over them. You know, they really love that. And, you know, new little ones literally need to be in the water for a few minutes. It's, you know, they're not going to be in the bath for 10 minutes. So, you know, just letting them kind of like feel the water around them is really nice. But if you don't feel safe kind of bathing your baby, particularly if you're doing it with them together, then, you know, there, as I said, there's plenty of bathing seats on the market that you can pop baby onto. But yeah, so, but yeah, that's something that I quite like is letting baby kind of, maybe that's something you do when you're just bathing baby on their own. And then once baby's in the water, then, you know, it's reminding your toddler that they need to be gentle while baby is in there, but can they help you wash baby? So they can get the flannel and, you know, gently kind of like wash baby's face or their feet. Actually, their feet's a good one. Also, I find is, you know, the more you involve your toddler or your older sibling in kind of like helping you with baby, the more fun it becomes and they don't feel pushed out. So one thing I used to do with one of my families actually was we used to take the bubble machine into the bathroom. They had a Froggy bubble machine, and we'd set that up on the side of the bath, and, you know, the bubbles would blow over the top of the bath, and the older one loved turning it on and the baby just loved looking at the bubbles above them. So, you know, kind of like make it fun. You know, so as I said, the toddler feels involved as well. You're not pushing them out. And then, as I said, baby only needs to be in there for a few minutes. So once they've calmed, after a couple of minutes, lift baby out onto a nice warm towel on the changing mat and dry and get them dressed. And so while kind of like you're doing that and little baby's out and you kind of wrap baby up in the towel and kind of like getting them nice, you know, dressed, and you're still in the bathroom on the floor, just right there by the bath, you know, your toddler can have another little bit of kind of like splashing time on their own. And once you've got baby nicely dressed and they're nice and warm, you know, you can pop them in. If you've brought the bouncy chair into the bathroom, I'd say pop them in the bouncy chair. As I said, if the baby's fussing and they will take a dummy, you know, now's the time to kind of give them a dummy. What I tend to find is, particularly with your second child, you know, they learn patience quite quickly, because there are times where baby will have to wait, you know, and you know, I remember with mine, you know, my second one would wait. You know, he learnt very quickly, because you've got a toddler and you kind of like need to see to them as well. So, and then kind of once, I mean, if baby is really, really fussing and, you know, they're completely having a meltdown, you know, I've been sat in the bathroom before now, I remember with mine, you know, giving my baby a quick breastfeed while sitting on the toilet, you know, just to kind of like hold them off a little bit. But, you know, it kind of just takes, as I said, a little bit of patience, and things will start to really improve. And then once kind of baby's out and they're all dressed and sitting in their bouncy chair, then you can get your toddler out and obviously get their pajamas on. Again, having a towel just there ready to get them out as well is really important. But if you find that you're not quite ready to bath your baby and toddler together, if that feels really quite daunting, then there's nothing to say that you can't do it separately for a little while. And what I find is you may want to bath your toddler first, because, you know, their bath time is going to take a bit longer. And again, you know, when it comes to bathing your toddler, if you don't want to do them together, you can pop baby on the play mat just down by the side of the bath, so you know they can see you, or pop them in the bouncy chair, or maybe they're even having a little sleep. You know, that they're just kind of somewhere close by with your monitor. And then, yeah, so bath the toddler, kind of get them out, put them to bed, and then there's nothing to say that you can't then bath baby later in the evening, because they're the ones that are a bit more flexible with their timings. But, you know, you want to keep your toddler's kind of routine as much as you can as to the norm. So I hope you found that useful. They're my bath time tips with two. And all I will say is, you know, remember, it does get easier, really does. And even if you are kind of like bathing, you know, your toddler or your older one and your baby separately, that's just going to be for a short period of time, because bathing them together does become much easier, and it becomes part of kind of like your whole bedtime routine. I hope you have a great day and you enjoy this lovely sunshine. I will see you again on Friday, and we'll be looking at illness and teething and how that can disrupt sleep and ways to manage this. Tomorrow I'm doing a live with my friend Steph from Heartbeats, and I'm doing a sleep session with them. So I hope you have a good day, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.